Hey, everybody. Welcome to Big Dave's Healthy Happy Hour. We're here with my good friend, Anna Vocino, one of the most amazing people in the low-carb space. She's an actress, comedian, cookbook author, and entrepreneur. We're going to ask her about all that stuff, and very excited to have her here tonight. Before we start, give us a comment if you're on Facebook or on YouTube. I'll see them both. Oh, here we go. Here's some hellos. Here's Jackie Jones. There's Mary Schwartz, Mary Heider Schwartz. Hey, Mary. So, yeah, say hello, and we'll have time to do questions a little bit later. So without any further ado, let me bring on Miss Anna Vocino, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Anna. Uh-oh. Nope, I cannot hear you. We're doing this live, ladies and gentlemen.
Power would be nice.
They're with us. There she is. Now I hear her.
Okay, see, I'm doing this on my computer, so I have to like lean over and type things.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great seeing you.
I'm going to be framing this up as we go because here's what I've noticed. Every live stream thing uses the camera differently. So I want to make sure y'all can see because I'm cooking. I'm cooking.
Yes.
My head's maybe I'll just squat down and just
wait.
cook
If I play with this.
Oh, I like that.
Doesn't help. You like that better?
Fun. Yeah.
All right. We'll do that.
I'll just, I'll do my thing. It'll be fine. We'll figure
it out. Anna was good enough to cook for us tonight. She's going to show us how to make something delicious. Perhaps groundhog stew. I'm not sure.
Did Puxatawny Phil see a shadow? I haven't had a chance to.
He did, the bastard. Once again, he condemned us to lots more winter.
It's bad news for you guys.
Bad news for us. That's true. In California, you're probably having wonderful weather right now, right?
It is really lovely, and I'm not going to brag about it. Although I kind of wish that we had some of that snow. I'll be honest. I like snow. It's fun. You're in DC, right?
Snow is fun. I'm in the DC area. Yes.
So did you get a blizzard?
Alexandria, Virginia. We got what qualifies as a blizzard here. I mean, I come from Albany, New York, so 3 inches here shuts everything down. But hey, we'll take it.
I'm gonna prep while we're talking.
Okay, you're gonna prep. We're gonna talk. Good. So tell us a little bit. Your story, which you were so generous as to lend to my book. Talking about some, this connection. You and I are similar in some ways. I mean, this is not the Instagram before and after kind of thing. I dropped carbs and look at my wonderful life. I mean, you're very real about it.
Thing at play with you here.
Yes. And for me, it's epilepsy, as I say in my book, My Unremarkable Brain. And you mentioned in your book, Eat Happy. There it is. Where is it, folks?
Oh yeah, I'm going to make something from Eat Happy too tonight. So.
Oh, excellent.
I made a pizza dip because we're coming up on Super Bowl. I make pizza dip. I'm going to make one with dairy that's like a regular size one, and then I'll make a little baby one without dairy because I'm going to show that you can actually do this. Okay.
2 of my favorite words, pizza and dip, in the same recipe.
I figured as much. It's everybody's favorites.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So getting back to your story, it was.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead. I'm cutting stuff for the pizza dip. So you talk.
Yeah. So give us a little bit for those who aren't familiar. Give us a little bit of the background.
Well, yeah, I was diagnosed with celiac in 2002, and which back then it wasn't like cool to say you're gluten free. And by the way, the only known remedy, I don't even want to say it's a cure because nothing really cures you when you have an autoimmune disease. You just kind of manage it. But the only known way to manage it is just to give up gluten. And so then, which at the time I was so skinny and I just was like, I'm just one of those people. I'm just so naturally skinny. And then I find out that's because I haven't digested a nutrient probably most of my entire life. So it's like, do you want to be skinny or do you want to be healthy? And obviously most of us would say both, However, life doesn't always work out that way. And that's okay, because luckily I found out early. I found out because my mom was diagnosed when she was 58 and I was 28. And unfortunately, even though she ate gluten-free, she got horribly addicted to sugar. I had the feeling she always was.
Yeah.
And she suffered from some very bad depression. And so when shit hit the fan with her body, she was not able to recover. And so I was at her bedside. So she basically had systemic organ failure due to a MRSA infection, and she was in for a heart valve replacement.
Wow.
And when you are a celiac, or you have any sort of advanced chronic condition and you're not managing it, you're not setting yourself up to succeed when shit hits the fan and you need to have a surgery, et cetera, et cetera. Or if you catch a MRSA infection in the hospital, it's going to be a lot harder to recover because your immune system is just taxed. It's just, and so, and it was, this is getting really dark, and I want you guys to know everything's okay. I'm okay. I love my mom. Everything's all good. But I will say that one of the most disturbing exercises I ever did was order her autopsy. I ordered the hospital to do that. I know we're cooking pizza dip, you guys. We're keeping it light and fun. Fun. But suffice it to say, we're the ones who are living. So let's if we can get a kernel or a nugget from this to go, okay, I need to move forward and get serious about this, then that's good. And I love your story too. But like reading her autopsy and how damaged her organs were, and then I felt to myself, if only I had spoken up more, because we all have that thing where we're like, I want to help my family member, but it feels like I'm being bossy and you don't know how, I mean, even now I'm like wringing my hands, like, I don't know the right way to handle it. Yeah. And just trust me, if you can do it, do it. If you can't, make peace with it. I get it. But like, for me, it's a big driver in what I do today. It's a big driver in how I eat and want to manage stuff, because we're all going to croak. That's not the issue, but I want to, I want to be able to manage my life and have a good, happy, healthy life while I'm here. So the other thing that my mom really dealt with, one of the symptoms of celiac disease is depression. And she had it real bad. And a lot of my family members did. And I was starting to go down that road too. And then when I met Vinny in 2012, and I converted all my recipes to be without any sugars or grains. So not only were they gluten-free, but they're also grain-free. So you're removing the processed carbohydrates. My mental health improved, hence the name Eat Happy. It seems like kind of a trite little name, but it actually has a very deep meaning to me, having dealt with a lot of depression in my life and depression with my own self. So long story short, that's kind of where everything comes from.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's so powerful. I thought there's a couple of things about your story that really strike me. One, that surprising connection between physical health and mental health. Right. I think it's Dr. Georgia Ede says, believe it or not, science shows that the brain is part of the body. It's like,
hey, what do you know about that?
Right.
And you're living proof of that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now, how old were you when the epilepsy started to present itself?
28. I was 28.
That's
so
interesting.
Yeah. I mean, people kind of consider it a kid's disease in certain ways,
Yeah.
But for me, now my brother had epilepsy growing up. He used to get they call it absence seizures. So he would kind of, his brain was kind of seizing, but you wouldn't know it. He would just kind of stare into the distance for a minute and then come back to what he was doing. So when I had my first seizure at 28, I was living in New York at the time, working as a teacher. had a couple of roommates, we were hanging out talking about what are we going to eat for dinner, and all of a sudden I just had this weird lightheaded feeling, just sort of really, really woozy and spacey. And I stood up as if to clear my head and just collapsed right back down and went into a seizure. And so because of the family history, they said, well, let's put you on some medication,
Right.
And went along pretty happily that way for a couple of years. Went 2+ years seizure free on the medication.
Nice.
And that was great. And my neurologist, I had moved by then, so I had a new neurologist who said, well, they put you on it pretty quickly. It may have not been anything. We can wean you off. Let's try it. So we did. And I had another seizure. So they said, well, okay, looks like you need medication. So back on medication about 10 years seizure-free in that way. And the medication wasn't bad. Everything's got side effects,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So it would make me feel kind of sluggish, and things like that. But, it's not life-altering in any way.
Right.
But I did over the years, the course of 10 years, you get into the 30s and into the early 40s and start gaining weight. And so that's actually how I found.
No fun.
Yeah, I know.
Why is on medication? We've already
that?
dealt with so much. Now we're going to add weight gain to it? No, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's actually how I found you guys as a weight loss podcast.
How long ago was that?
You and Vinny. So this would have been 2016, like 4 years ago. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I started listening, and I was like, well, these guys are funny. They're entertaining to listen to.
And were you
NSNG.
surprised, like David Perlmutter was, that we weren't total effing idiots?
I love that episode. Like, I'm really surprised.
That's a direct quote from Dr. David Perlmutter.
Yes, it is. The great David Perlmutter. Yes,
yeah, we love him.
Brainwash, his latest one. Just
yeah,
yeah. That was hilarious because I just started binging, especially on on the Luminary podcasts. And I love to read, and I love to so I just would hear somebody, Gary Taubes, on the show, and I go out and read the book, and then I go back to the show. So just kind of learning it and playing around with it and trying it for weight loss. And then one Friday he had Jim Abrams and Dr. Susan Vocino.
That was the episode you needed to hear.
Exactly. I was, wait, what? How could that be that this
tell
diet?
Tell everybody what that is, what his story is.
Yeah. So in fact, the ketogenic diet for epilepsy probably wouldn't exist today if it weren't for Jim Abrams. He's been such an influence in that world. This was, or 92, I believe it was. And I interviewed him for the book. He was good enough to sit down and talk to me. And
oh, that's good. I'm so glad.
And he read it, and he loved it. So, he's a super cool guy. Anyway, if you don't know Jim Abrams, you know his work. He's Airplane, Naked Gun, Hot Shots, all those goofy movies back in the 90s. And, like I said, 92, I think it was, he was at the top of his game, had a great life. And his son, Charlie, who was not even 2 years old at the time, had a seizure while they were pushing him on the swing.
Mm-hmm.
Thought, well, that's kind of weird. And he compares notes with his wife, and she said, oh, yeah, he did that the other day, too. So they start bringing him to a neurologist, and the epilepsy just gets worse and worse. And no matter what they try, they're trying medications, they're trying surgeries. They were on the verge of doing a major surgery, really removing a major part of his brain. And he said, what's that? Oh, and I hear Charlie's on YouTube. Hey, Charlie.
Yay.
So, yeah, I'm telling you a story, man.
Hey, Charlie.
But Jim said that, yes, this would have changed their son completely, right? And changed the life that he would have had. And one day he was, looking for anything. Actually, he was in a medical library and looking through some old, some textbooks, and happened to keep seeing the ketogenic diet. He said, what's this about? So a couple of things that I touch on my book. One is serendipity, that everyone that I talked to, whether they were doctors or patients, found this through some kind of happenstance. This is not, even though it has been, the ketogenic diet has been a treatment for over 100 years for epilepsy.
It sure has. That's
and
what's
it's
crazy.
still
Yeah.
as effective as any medication on the market. Helps about 30% of people become seizure free. About 30% have reduced seizures, which is just as good as any medication that they've come up with yet.
Right.
But it was, by that time, it was sort of considered passé and the annals of history. So he happens to find it, and Abrams happens to have the means really to seek out a doctor who will administer this treatment. So he had to go all the way to Johns Hopkins in Baltimore and work with one of the few remaining doctors who knows how to do this, and the dietitian who knows how to do this. And from that on, he has been like I say, the biggest advocate. His organization, the Charlie Foundation, is, as a matter of fact, all the proceeds over the cost of the book, when I did my pre-order, all of those have gone to the Charlie Foundation.
That's great. I didn't know you did that. That's awesome.
Yeah, of course.
Very cool.
So
I'll be right back. I forgot something. I'll be right back. It's in the fridge.
Yeah, you bet.
Keep telling the story.
I will keep vamping. So yes, it does my heart good to see Charlie on here. Your dad has and you yourself have affected more people than you can possibly know, and I think it's important to acknowledge that and remember that. And
absolutely.
And they're still doing great work. I mean, they've a lot of the research that's been done, and the doctors that I've interviewed for my book, have pointed to the Charlie Foundation as funding a lot of this research and making a lot of it happen. If you do a search on clinicaltrials.gov or on one of the PubMed websites, you'll see that back in the 90s there were maybe 2 or 3 studies with the title ketogenic in it going on back then, and now it's just skyrocketed. So the popularity has really taken off.
I would say anybody who's dealing with anything chronic, whether it's a brain disorder or autoimmune, or, to state the obvious, type 2 diabetes, which is a chronic metabolic thing, but can definitely lead to other real bad stuff happening.
Yeah. It's
worth a try. Like, give it a try.
Yeah.
Well, it can't hurt to try it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of what I tried to get across in, after hearing you guys and talk about this. I sought out a doctor who, and again, I'm very lucky because I'm in DC, so Johns Hopkins is right up the road. So I was able to get administered there as a patient in the Adult Diet Epilepsy Center.
Right.
And work with a doctor up there.
Right.
And, was able to, so 3 years now I've been working with this, and not just as some kind of crazy weight loss scheme, but really as a way of life.
So what's your medication status?
I'm still on medication.
Yeah.
Still on medication, and that's a choice. After 2 years seizure free, my doctor gave me the opportunity to start weaning off. Unfortunately, the way my life is right now, I'm pretty car dependent. And
no, don't go. Yes.
Yeah. And if you do that,
the rest of America wants you in the car on your medication.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So
very good choice. That's good. Shall I fill in everybody what we're doing here real quick?
Please do. Yes, I've been yakking over. So
pizza dip. It's Super Bowl Sunday. I actually put a roundup on my website of a whole bunch of other dips that you could make. Whiskey cheese dip, jalapeno poppers, the spice nuts, like eggplant marinara bites. But we're going to do pizza dip. And yes, I will eventually type it up and put it on my site. I need to after we're doing this Facebook Live. Or if you have Eat Happy too, you can find it in there. Or you can just write down what I'm doing right now. It's not hard to make the pizza dip. It's basically marinara, which got to give a little plug to my Eat Happy Kitchen marinara. Oh, the label.
Yes.
You can't see the label.
Can I give a plug? Can I interrupt you real quick?
Hey. Yes, please do. Yes.
There it is.
Oh,
I
there
think
we go. I have that picture. I love that picture.
I think I was the first one to receive, or at least the first one to post it online.
You were the first one. You claim dibs on being the first one to post a selfie with the marinara, and I really appreciate that because I think when you guys do that, it actually helps more people discover it. So I really appreciate that. Yes, thank you. So pizza dip is basically, let's make a pizza without the breading of a pizza and turn it into a dip. And then everybody goes, well, what do we dip in it? You can make the almond flour pita chips or the rosemary thyme pita chips that are in Eat Happy and Eat Happy 2 respectively. I will cut up veggies, or you can just make a little individual pizza dip and just eat it yourself. Like no one's going to judge you. We're all at home alone on Super Bowl this year. So it's not like you're bringing it to, you can double dip. You can do whatever you want. So I am going to make actually, I wish I had another different size. I'm going to make a larger one here, and I'm going to do a dairy-free one here. And the ingredients are basically what you would put on a pizza, and then add some cream cheese for some base to it. So it's marinara, it's pepperoni. I like black olives. I like green onions. I like green bell pepper, or you can do red bell pepper, and cheese. So it's not super complicated. It's pretty easy. Oh, there we go on the widescreen.
Yeah, I'm trying to make you bigger. Hold on, that makes me bigger. That's no good. There you are.
So, but what I also want to do is, I forgot. Now I'm remembering all the things that I forgot. You know what I mean? I guess I'm 47 now. I just now remember all the things I forgot. So I wanted to bring up, because a lot of people now are not having dairy. And so when you go NSNG, which is invented by Vinnie Tortorich, which is what we were talking about earlier, no sugars, no grains, at the very least, cut out the processed sugars, cut out the processed grains, cut out rice, corn, cut out white potato, cut out flour, any sort of, or gluten-free flours. Like a lot of stuff is made with like millet and sorghum and teff and quinoa and buckwheat. We're cutting those out. Tapioca, cassava, we're cutting those out. They're too starchy. We're trying to get our carbohydrate level down. And we're going to increase our fats, and we're going to increase the proteins, so dairy fat is part of the fats. Now, some folks, myself included, sadly, can no longer tolerate dairy. I'm not supposed to. I'll test the limits and then I'll get my blood work done, and I get really high inflammation. So I have to be very careful. So that's why I wanted to make both options and show you guys some things and maybe some brands. And there's no affiliate deal or anything. I just want to show you some things that I've tried at the store, because if you've gone to the store, if somebody's told you, oh, maybe dairy's messing with you, or like maybe you're having too much dairy, and maybe that's like you're plateauing, and you go to the store for the first time and you see all the dairy-free options, it's very overwhelming.
Right.
Most of them don't taste great, I'll be honest. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I wanted to kind of vet stuff for you. By the way, in Eat Happy 2, I have a lot of dairy-free options and suggestions, especially like a dairy-free ranch, dairy-free Caesar dressing, things like that, plus the dairy-full counterparts, because I believe in putting it all out there. But the base of this pizza dip is some room temperature cream cheese. I don't know if that's good enough. Let's see. Let's start. We're just basically going to take a brick of cream cheese and kind of start to spread it out, because cream cheese is the base of any good dip, let's be honest. But this is the dairy full, and it's real easy. And I'm going to just kind of spread this thing out. I'm making kind of a little bit of a lighter amount because I am splitting my ingredients between two things. But this is all going to get heated up and kind of get very nice and mushy, so you can dip your vegetables in it, and again, or your spoon, and just have that. Now, what do we do for dairy-free cream cheese? Well, a lot of the decent alternatives are made using nuts. So it's almost like, here, let me start with my very, very basic. This is the freshest, easiest option that you can do that's not processed and not purchased from another company. You can take a cup or two of, let's see if we can see that, cashews, and see there's water in there. I've been soaking them. Now, the thing is, I really prefer to soak them overnight. This has only been in for about 3 hours. And what they do is they expand, and then they get really weird looking. They turn into giant cashews.
Are those raw cashews?
Those are raw cashews. You don't want to get the roasted, salted. You got to get the raw. Usually it's at the bulk section.
Yeah.
Where they have all the bulk nuts. I got this. I have only local single-owned grocery stores up here where I moved, so I don't have chains up here. But if you're at Whole Foods or Sprouts, they will definitely have raw cashews. And a little goes a long way. You can make what I'm about to tell you and then freeze half of it, or just do a little bit at a time. And this makes a great dairy-free. It could be a thickener for a sauce. Anytime you put in heavy cream, you can use this as a substitute. So we soak the cashews, and then after I soak them overnight, I take a half of a zucchini and I peel it and I chunk it up, and we put this in a food processor or in a Vitamix, and you just make a puree with it. And it seems very uneventful, and it is. So from there, you just season it with whatever you want to season it with: salt, pepper, nutritional yeast, garlic powder, onion powder, and it starts to make a nice base. Now, I wanted to just show you guys that because it is pretty easy. I'm not going to make it, but I wanted to show you that as an option. That's the freshest thing to do if you really want to avoid, because here's the deal. When you're doing dairy-free stuff, here's a brand I like. Miyoko's I like Kite Hill. There's a almond cream cheese, and I like the chive flavor because it gives it a little bit of something instead of just plain like boring almond cream cheese.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, I know that there's some coconut brands. There's not everybody can tolerate nuts, so that's a thing. There's a company called Biolife. I have it. Hold on. I get this, and I just want to show you guys so that you can kind of know what to look for. Where's my cheese? Oh, there it is. Where is it? There it is. Here it is. Biolife has a little cream cheese, and I think this is where I wore my glasses because I knew I'd be reading labels. Okay, this has coconut. It's mostly coconut oil, and they've made it set up well, but it has some potato starch in it. So you got to know what you're getting into. If you're really trying to control your carbohydrates, this is 2 grams of carbs for 2 tablespoons. Then you know what you're getting into. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not every dairy-free cheese is perfect. That's why I like to give you the whole food option first, and you go from there. But for the sake of ease, this is just a classic chive, buttery and savory, and then we'll sprinkle some of this cheese on there. And then for you dairy-full people, here's the regular cheese. Yay for you. Kite Hill. I'm going to do Kite Hill at the base of this one. So we'll just open this up. Okay. Easy step. And
so this is the alternative to the
while you talk.
Yeah, well, just to recap, so this is the alternative to the cream cheese. All these different
I mean, there's all sorts of products coming to market, and that's honestly one of the good things about the plant-based movement is that the dairy-free people get to reap some benefits. However, does it taste as good as the original?
Sure.
Hell no. Like, don't get it twisted. Of all the things that I've given up eating, dairy is the one thing that I would be thrilled to be able to eat again. So, but that's okay. Life goes on, you guys. And
so if you're just joining us, Anna Vocino is making pizza dip.
That just smells really good. They're making them better and better, I'm telling you. But
my wife makes and
a dairy-free pizza dip. Let's do about half of that. I'm actually really excited to eat this because I've been doing carnivore for 28 days. And so this is like day 3 or 4 of me adding things back into my diet. So I've not had any marinara. I haven't had my own sauce in over a month. I love the sauce so much. So I haven't had anything like pizza oriented, except for like salami and pepperoni on its own sometimes.
Yeah. How has that gone, the carnivore thing?
I loved it and I hated it. It was great, and it was also very difficult. And if it weren't for people like Jackie Jones and Leona Jagger supporting me, I probably would have been done in, because there were definitely some, what I like to call the temper tantrum, which, by the way,
yes,
I don't want anybody out there watching to think that they have to do carnivore. I was doing a specific experiment. I had my blood tested at the end of it. There was a reason for it. I am very good at doing experiments and doing N=1 type things on my body. I like doing it. I've been doing it for 9 years. Just do NSNG, just do keto. You don't have to jump into like that craziness unless you've been doing NSNG or keto for a while and you feel a need to go there with carnivore. I just want to give that disclaimer because people get FOMO and they're like, oh, well, if she's doing that, I need to do that. And I'm here to tell you, just do NSNG, just do keto. So
yeah, good point. By the way, Leona Trip Jagger and Jackie Jones say hello.
Oh, hi, girls. Yeah, they were my crew, still are. And let's see, I'm already making a big mess. So Eat Happy Kitchen marinara, please get it. Go to eathappykitchen.com. You guys, this isn't science. I'm basically, I'll move this in a frame. I'm spreading out this cream cheese. Oh man, my husband's so lucky because he gets to eat the large one all by himself. That man is so lucky because I have to make like 2 of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess then we don't have to share.
You two go to him.
Yeah, right. So we'll put a fair amount of that on there. Again, not scientific, just kind of pouring it on there. You can just write it down. We kind of shake it over the cream cheese. Shake this over the cream cheese. I'm going to drop, I've already chopped pepperoni. Now, I might have even could have cut them smaller because you kind of want them in little bite-sized pieces. You don't want to like pull out the dip and then you have a giant piece of pepperoni, or you can just shove the whole thing in your mouth. I don't care. I'm not here to judge. We've had crazy times. This pandemic has been nuts. So I'm going to put some pepperoni on there, some pepperoni on here. I basically bought like a whole pack, like whatever the whole pack of pepperoni was, and just started cutting it up.
Nice.
It's again, I do put exact measurements in my recipes in the books, but when I'm making it at home, I'm mostly just like, just throw it in there. It'll be fine.
Yeah, eyeball it, right?
My marinara has obviously no sugar added. Hello.
Yes.
It's organic. Oh, I'm going to put some green bell peppers over that. Also, I just like to have green with red. Maybe it's the Italian in me. Maybe it's the Christmas lover in me. I just think it looks really pretty. I'm going to put some green onions.
That's chives, you said?
What's that?
That's what? That's chives?
This green onions.
Green onions.
Green onions or scallions.
What is, okay.
I cut the white parts and the palest green parts only. And I just like that for a little kick. But if you have kids, they might not like that flavor. Let me get this going a little.
Someday I'll learn the difference between green onions and chives.
Chives are the very thin little green grass looking ones.
Oh,
so
okay.
You cut them and they look like little green polka dots.
Oh, okay.
These are green onions or spring onions. They're just basically harvested early.
Oh, that's what I've got.
From the farmer's market, and they smell really good.
Mm.
That's the good thing about moving to the country. We have like 14 farm stands.
Nice.
All around, which is kind of an incredible thing. I'm going to go ahead and put a few black olives in there. I love black olives. For salt. Now, I am going to, this is going to be just absolute, just heathenism.
That is madness.
Just pour the whole thing on there. Again, we're not making this now for the dairy full. This looks like about a cup and a half of cheese. I probably wouldn't do this whole thing, but I'm going to.
Wow.
I feel like, well, actually, no, I'm not going to. So you kind of.
Just showing off now.
I know, right? And there's a little bit of pepperoni left over. Actually, there's a lot of pepperoni left over. So I'm going to just kind of, because you want to have it be pizza-like. And I love pizza with a lot of pepperoni.
Yes.
I do have pizza crust recipes in both books. I have 2 pizza crust recipes in the first book and 1 in the second book. They're also free on my website. Just go to my website. If you like what you see there, then please support the books. I have a lot of free recipes on my website. Let's see.
And that website is annavocino.com,
yes.
Right on your screen right now, folks.
Oh, wait, I do have a Biolife. Hold on. I have a Biolife dairy-free sprinkled cheese. Now, I will say, for me personally, I won't overdo it with the dairy-free stuff. Just enough to give you a little zhuzh. Whereas if I'm doing dairy full, I overdo it because it's so good and delicious and melts so nicely. The dairy-free cheeses, they melt okay. They're not great. But we're going to just put a little bit on there just to give that, see, we're getting a little. And then this guy is looking super good.
Beautiful.
It's heavy too. This would actually feed a lot of people. I predict we're either going to have to freeze that or we're going to have to throw some of it away because there's not enough of us.
God, I wish I was there.
I know. I wish you guys were here. I wish everybody was here. So I'm just going to put more pepperoni on here. And why not throw some more green bell pepper on these things? I am going to put these in the oven 15 or so minutes. They'll melt up nicely. I don't know if we'll still be talking by then, but you guys can use your imaginations. And I'm going to put these at 350 for like, you can see them there, right?
Yeah, that looks beautiful.
Overhead camera going. So I'm going to put these in 15 minutes, 350, or until they're nice and cheesy and bubbly. And then you take them out, you garnish with a few more of these little green onions on the top, and you serve. And you have to serve it hot. because when the cheese starts to cool, it just becomes one unit. And so you need to, it's a hot dip.
Well, it is still a dip. Yes.
Hot dip.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
that's it. And we managed to use an entire jar there, which is par for the course over here. I've never used less than a jar at a time. So that happens. But
that's pretty good. I've been portioning mine out little by little.
Yeah. That I used to do that with Villa Capelli olive oil. And then I finally was like, I'm just going to keep ordering it. So if you find yourself portioning it out, that means it's time to order another case.
I do. I need to order at least a case. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I also need to get you for you to get it in my local organic market. Are you working on that these days?
Yes. I talked to a co-packer today who can do it, and we have to do a crazy, it's called an MOQ, a minimum order quantity. And so I was talking with my business partners and like, is this an investment we're going to do? And because the grocery stores, we have to make them in larger quantities anyway to get the margin to be able to get in grocery stores. I know this is not interesting to anybody unless you're trying to do an e-commerce business, and then you're going to feel me on this. If you're out there trying to do e-commerce or a CPG product, a consumer product good, then you're going to feel me on what it takes. So like you're constantly refining, trying to figure out how you can save like 8 cents here and 4 cents there and 16 cents there. So that you are able to have the margins to get it all in the local grocery stores. I want nothing more than for it to be in Giant and Safeway and Whole Foods and Hy-Vee and Mother's Market and Sprouts everywhere. I want it to be everywhere. Yeah. And we're launching 3 spices in about 6 weeks as well.
Oh, fantastic. What kind of spices? Are blends?
The taco seasoning, which is in Eat Happy. We call it the dill, which is the ranch seasoning. In Eat Happy 2, which is both of those, honestly, to die for. And then a third one that's not in either book, that's my barbecue dust that I put on everything all summer that goes on the grill. And here's the deal. It's funny because I didn't want to get into the food space because I was like, wouldn't you just make it at home? Yeah. I've been making marinara myself at home several times a week for decades. So it just is second nature. Yeah. Then I realized after talking with the co-packer that we can do this to the highest quality that I want to do it. And I'm still amazed because, I'm looking at competitors on the shelves. I'm looking to see what people are doing. I'm looking to see price points because right now we're at a really high price point because we haven't been able to get our margins down yet. Yeah. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, the similar price points, it's really hard to find any sauce that is all organic, non-GMO, and with no sugar added. Like it's shocking to me. I saw one that's gorgeous packaging. I saw it yesterday at the store. Gorgeous packaging, beautiful. Like it just looks like, I was like, oh yeah, that's nice. They did a good job. And I turned it around. I looked at it. And the third ingredient is sugar, cane sugar, organic. Wow. Organic cane sugar. I'm like, of course.
Why does it need? Yeah. Why does spaghetti sauce need sugar? That's
another one was organic and really well priced. It was something like $4 for the jar. And I looked and I was like, oh, how do they do that? So I pick it up and I look at it and it's got agave. And then it has like a big agave nectar symbol, which for those of you who don't know, agave nectar is just another form of sugar. In fact, it might even be more pernicious because it's basically all fructose.
That's right.
Screw agave. Stay away from it. It's garbage trash. And so, I buy them so I want to taste them. And that one I didn't even want to taste because when I opened it, it was marinara. Yeah. It smelled like barbecue sauce. I was like, why?
Wow.
Why does your marinara have to be barbecue sauce? They are.
Wow. Yeah.
So this is the kind of stuff that I'm seeing. And I'm hoping that means that Eat Happy Kitchen products have a place in the marketplace. And a side note to that, for the spices, I have a little store up here called New Frontiers. It's just one location, and it's basically like a tiny Sprouts or a tiny Whole Foods, and it's really great. It's like nicer than like a health food store. Like it has an actual butcher and all that. Like it's a great little store, and I like to support them. But their price point is a little higher, and like our product would be perfect to go in there. But I went and looked at the thing where it has all the taco seasonings, and you can buy like the Ortega or the Siete or the taco seasonings. And again, I was shocked at the number of things because this is like a little Whole Foods type of store. So everything is like organic that they can possibly sell. I would take the thing and I'd look at the ingredients and it was like organic. Okay, it's taco seasoning, right? Organic brown rice powder or flour, organic potato starch, and this is across all different brands. They have fillers in there.
Yikes.
To either, I guess, thicken your taco meat or just to fill up the space. I don't know why they do it, but I was like, this is insane. I'm not doing that.
Have to go through the machine that they have to
I
put
don't
on the
know
line.
what it is,
Jeez.
why the reasoning is, but if a co-packer tells me they have to do something like that, hello, goodbye. Like it's going to be over because
that's
spices. Organic spices,
it.
and that's it.
Yeah. Speaking of spices, a question came in. You know, a lot of people are, you know, stuck at home for the last almost a year now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're sick of our own cooking. I know I am. You know, I keep it simple. I cook meat, I cook vegetables, and things like that. But what are your go-to spices to add that kick to?
I'll show you guys
your favorite meals.
My flavor starters for anything is salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. And in fact, I put labels on the top of all my spices so I can find them quickly. And these are out of alphabetical order because my spices are in alphabetical order. These are out of alphabetical order because I use them so much, they are just at the front. So I got my salt, my pepper, and I have my garlic powder, onion powder. My go-to spices, it depends. I use my nose a lot when I'm inventing. Like for example, the pistachio crusted coriander salmon is so simple. And it was one of those things that I was thinking to myself, I want to wrap salmon in a pistachio crust, but I want to do something different. I basically was like, no. Oh yes, coriander. It needs that. And it just worked really well. So I'm a fan of following your nose, unless of course, if you've come down with COVID, you might've lost your sense of smell for a little while, but hopefully it'll come back. I'm a big fan of just like what I said, those starters. You can add in some dried oregano and dried basil, which by the way, you can use dried herbs, no problem. You just want to make sure before you put them in, I always put them in my hand and then pulverize them into the bowl because it releases a little more, whatever's left of the flavor profile.
Okay. That's a good tip. Yeah.
And the other thing I've learned, which is crazy, here's a little insider scoop that I've learned that you won't find out from other people.
All right.
We've done 4 rounds of this taco seasoning. So, sorry, 3 rounds. We're on the 3rd round. And the reason you go back and forth, they basically take my recipe that's in Eat Happy and they've scaled it up because we want to make sure we have scaled it up so that when you buy it, you have enough for 4 portions. It'll be a little thing that you get 4. I wasn't going to do the individual portions because it's just too much turnover. So 4 portions. So they have to scale up the recipe so that then they can scale it back down. So then they send me what they've scaled up and according to the recipe, and I tasted it and it was so good. I was so excited. But it had this heat on the end. It was crazy. I was like, whoa, kids aren't going to like that. Like, that's not good. This is a family, my taco seasoning is a family friendly taco seasoning.
It's a family seasoning.
We'll do a medium or a hot one. Eventually we are going to get there. But I was like, save that for the medium hot one. And then we did it again and it came back too much. And then I finally called them. I was like, what's going on? Because I told you not to put the cayenne. I have an optional in the book, optional dusting of cayenne. You can throw that in there if you want to make it more spicy, right? Ground cayenne is hot pepper. It's spicy. But I told them not to put that in there. So I come to find out this just every step of the way, I learned so much. The spices that we buy at the grocery store are sometimes as old as 3 years old.
Wow. So 3 years old.
When I'm working with the co-packer, they have brand new, freshly ground and milled spices.
Okay. Huh.
So I was like, well, I don't want mine to I don't want to taste it at this pungent level and then have it turn into if it sits on the shelf for 18 months and then loses its efficacy. I want it to taste like what it tastes like. So that's another interesting thing of okay, well, you have to make just enough so that they're always fresh. And it could be another reason why they use the caking, anti-caking agents and the stuff.
Right, because there's still some moisture in there, probably, right? Yeah.
So I'm learning as I go along, but the ultimate thing is I'm not going to release anything to market unless it's top quality. But that's my long answer to your spice question.
No, that's a great question. In fact, another question is coming. And folks, if you do have questions for Anna, please put them in the chat here. Elshin says, Anna, do you use freeze-dried herbs or the old way dried herbs?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can use that. Yeah. And I also like the tubes. They sell the tubes.
Yeah, I've seen those. The tubes of lemongrass and stuff like that.
Lemongrass, ginger, basil, chives. They have all those. The tubes wind up being, and I'm pretty sure that the tubes don't use a crazy oil. I think they were for a little while, but now I think they're okay.
Oh, good.
But yeah, no, especially with lemongrass, because if you buy lemongrass, you have to like peel it and then like scrape it like you do a vanilla bean. So it's a little more labor intensive. It's great. Right. It's amazing. But like a vanilla bean is also amazing. But it's just, it's easier. And ginger, I love fresh ginger. I love recreating my favorite sort of Asian inspired dishes with the low carb twist, because I can't eat, because I have to be gluten free no matter what. So I can't even go do a cheat at sushi. You know what I mean? I can't have that stuff. Yeah. So I like, you'll see a lot of different like Vietnamese, Japanese, Chinese, and Thai inspired dishes in my books.
Yeah. Yeah.
No sugar rather, and low.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing, a lot of people don't realize that if you're going out to Thai food, Asian food, it's an easy, takeout or whatever like that, but it might not.
Sugar meats. A lot of sugar meats.
Yeah, sugar meats, exactly. All those sauces.
Want to just like give me the grilled thing. They've often marinated it in something sweet, but I'm not to say that you shouldn't go out to eat with your family. I'm not saying don't be that. You know what I mean? You'll find something. I hope. Or maybe you pick a different restaurant and you eat at as a family. Or if you can go to a restaurant, God bless you, because we can't here in California. So.
Yes.
Outdoor dining now we can do.
Whoops. Yes. Same here. We're outdoor. Well, they have some indoor. I don't know. I can't figure it out. So I just try to avoid it entirely. Yeah. So Bruce asked, is Anna's barbecue dust the same as her Santa Maria seasoning from her tri-tip?
It's going to be a hybrid. Bruce, okay. That's a very good question, because my Santa Maria seasoning, it was between the barbecue dust and the Santa Maria seasoning, but it's a little bit of a hybrid. However, we're leaning more towards a more general, like Southwest inspired barbecue dust, because I do want to release the Santa Maria as its own thing, maybe like a limited edition thing, because if you've tried that, you know what I'm talking about. The Santa Maria tri-tip recipe that's on my website. That's the specialty of where I moved up to the San Ynez Valley, up the Central Coast. They make a tri-tip. You can do it with sirloin. It's also called a triangle cut. Sometimes you can do it. You can even do it on steaks. It's insane. But people don't know what it is outside of this area. So that's why I went with a general barbecue dust, and then we'll do a limited edition with Santa Maria. And then I'll get it out to the world. The world must know about the Santa Maria dry rub.
Yes. Well, I need to try the Santa Maria. I got some time ago, I got a beautiful tri-tip steak right from the farm. There's a farmer near here that we buy directly from him, and but I don't have a smoker, so that's
okay. You can still do you have a grill or just a regular grill?
We have a regular grill, a little Weber Q kind of thing.
That's fine. Follow my directions on my site, and you can make it on the regular grill. It'll still be really good.
Okay. All right. I'll do it. Let's see. A couple other questions came in. Oh, about the dairy-free, the dairy substitutions.
Yes.
Do you find them difficult? Are they readily available? Are they harder to work with?
Say that over again.
Somebody asked, what about the dairy-free substitutions? Are they difficult? Are they easy to find? Are they hard to work with as far as?
I live kind of in the middle of nowhere, 2 hours north of LA, and I can find dairy substitutes at every grocery store around me that are very small little grocery stores. However, that doesn't mean they're available everywhere. Thrive Market, maybe check them out. See if you can order stuff online. Amazon, of course. The dairy-free stuff that's nut-based, they're improving every day.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's still not a perfect dairy-free substitute other than doing the thing that I told you with the cashews and the zucchini as your base, and then you go from there. Everything's going to have some ingredient where you're like, ugh, okay. And then you're like, have to decide, do I really want this thing? Let's see. For example, let's just read these ingredients. This is Miyoko Creamery, double cream, classic chive, cashew, milk, cheese. I love it when they call it milk, like oat milk and cashew milk. Organic cashew milk, organic cashews, filtered water, organic coconut oil, organic chives, sea salt, organic rice miso, which is basically a fermented miso is actually not as bad as you think it is. It's just fermented rice or soy, but we want rice meat or beans. Sometimes it's fermented beans, which means when something's fermented, it means that the yeast has eaten off and then pooped out the thing, and then we eat it. We eat yeast poop, you guys.
Yeast poop, lovely.
Yeah. Sea salt, alcohol, yeah. Koji culture. Nutritional yeast cultures. Nutritional yeast, by the way, is a great seasoning you can use. Here's another tip.
Yes.
If you want to do Parmesan is something that's really hard to recreate dairy-free. Do get like 2 or 3 Brazil nuts and grate them, and then get some nutritional yeast, and you can toss it all, and it kind of turns into like a Parmesan type of topping. It wouldn't be, you wouldn't do it like super thick or anything like that, but it makes a great topping if you're doing a dairy-free thing.
Awesome.
And yeah, again, it's not perfect, but if you have to avoid dairy and you're really craving something, it'll do a trick.
Yeah. So, and even though we're making pizza dip, somebody asked about desserts. What's your favorite sugar-free dessert? Do you even use the word sugar-free, or take that any direction you want?
I have a really different philosophy about desserts, and I don't know if the world is ready for it because I get a lot of flack about it. And that is, I don't eat desserts until I eat a dessert. And so that usually means on my birthday, my husband's birthday, if my daughter's in town, her birthday, Thanksgiving and Christmas. So if you count, that's like at the max, like 5 times that I'll eat a dessert.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I like to eat will eat real sugar when I make a dessert. Now, that being said, I have a sweets chapter in both my books, and I have recipes with sugar in them. So what I like to do is, because once you quit eating sugars and grains, all of a sudden, if you have a bite of like a cupcake from your favorite cupcake shop, it's going to feel like somebody punched you in the teeth. It will be so sweet. You won't like it. In fact, the sugar will overpower the rest of the flavors, and you'll be like, I can't believe this is a thing. I can't believe I was addicted to eating this.
Yeah.
It's so cloying and it doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
And nobody believes me until they go through that experience. I see you nodding, Dave, so I know you get it, but your taste does change. So if I have a dessert, and I'll get back to the sugar thing in just a second. If I have a dessert, generally it's going to be some fruit. And I know this is like the douchiest thing ever, but like, it's just true. I cut up a carrot to dip in the pizza dip, and these carrots from the farm stand taste so good and sweet. I don't feel like I need to dive in. The only thing I will say is I do enjoy a little square of 90% dark chocolate from time to time. But it's so bitter. I don't have it that often. You know what I mean? Like it's good. It satisfies that like chocolate craving thing. So I don't have sweets until I have a sweet, and then it's a real sweet. Now,
and then you get
all of my recipes, my dessert recipes, I have made them with what I believe to be the least amount of sugar possible to still make it a dessert. And you could serve it to people who aren't doing this, and they would also eat it, and everybody would be happy. So I hear all the time people saying, oh, I made whatever it is, and I made it with half the sugar you did, and it tasted great. Awesome. I love it. Or I hear from people, I made it, but instead I put in my sugar substitute. I put in my monk fruit, erythritol or allulose or whatever. I don't like those things, but if you want to cook with it, you are an adult and you do you.
Well, I love that. And you say that all the time, okay, I'm not telling you what to do. You're an adult, you're a grown up, you don't like it, go do something else,
Rip the pages out of the book and burn them. I don't give a shit. It's like people get really, really binary, and it's understandable because we've been taught to look at everything like we have to be on a diet all the time. So if it's like, it feels confusing because they think Eat Happy is a diet book. It's not a diet book.
Yep.
It's a real foods cookbook. That's what it is. And an author of a really great cookbook that I love, Terry Turner, does No Crumbs Left. And she basically started as like a Whole30 blogger. And she has a huge following. She's fantastic. She's a delightful human. And I see on her Amazon reviews the similar type of thing that people can't comprehend, because in some of her recipes, like in the back of the book, here's like, if you're having gluten, here's like my best chocolate cake, or like if you're having this here, and she puts that in there because that's her culinary perspective, and she wants to do that.
Right.
And people lose their minds.
Right.
And I'm like, we need to calm down, because I don't want everybody to be I'm in diet mode. So screw everything that's not diet.
Yeah.
I want this to be like, this is how you eat. And then when you make yourself a thing, make a nice thing and you eat it and you enjoy it. You don't say I'm a piece of shit because I ate this thing.
Right.
It's your birthday. Enjoy your birthday. Or don't eat the sweet. I don't care. But oh my God, I'm having a
Sorry. Well, that goes back to the title though. Eat happy, right? I mean, eat this stuff, be happy. Don't
you talk, you vamp. I'm gonna mute myself.
Yeah. And I think that's it. I think a lot of people will look at something and say, oh, this has to become my religion, or this has to become, the be all and end all of things. And that's what I appreciate so much about Anna, is that she's just very real about it. And her recipes are simple and down to earth, but also her approach is very just down to earth and very real, like.
I got myself fired up. I think I'm okay.
You okay?
Yeah.
Getting the vapors over there?
I got the vapors. Let's see how this stuff is doing.
Yes. Let's see it.
Probably done.
Wrap things up. I do have one more question. If you have a minute, if you have a second, somebody is asking about vegetarian recipes.
Oh, you can make those.
And well, actually, Susan Sloan answered that you have lots of vegetarian and/or recipes where you can leave the protein out.
Yep.
Like cauliflower fried rice.
I think, man, I really did something to my throat. I got all fired up. Hold on.
Wow.
Here, like my voice is like being
take it easy over there, would you?
It's just so weird. I think I have some of the best low carb vegetarian dishes that you will find, because I support my plant powered NSNG brethren. Some off the top of my head. Now, when you're a vegetarian, you're going to have some legumes, which you might not have legumes if you're eating meat, because you don't really need them.
Right.
Unless you like, for me, I was kind of relieved to not have to eat beans anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they weren't my favorite. But I have a hearty tomato stew with northern white beans. That's off the charts amazing. And now you can do it with a jar of the marinara and throw it in and make it so quick. It's basically a veggie tomato stew with the beans. Get everything. I have lentil burgers that are fantastic. There's a soup that's a cauliflower soup that you basically do like a French onion soup, and you melt the cheese on top. It's incredible. In the second book, I've got one of my favorite appetizers that nobody makes is the walnut and mushroom pate. Hear me now, believe me later. It is so good, and you won't be like, oh, this is vegetarian. Like, it's meaty. It's good because the mushrooms, and the walnuts.
Yeah, that gives us some head.
Yes, most of my main course dishes have meat in them because I eat meat. Most of my audience eats meat, but my side dishes, lot of great side dishes too that you could protein up by adding some legumes.
Excellent.
If you're a vegetarian, you're used to being creative in the kitchen too.
Yeah, that's true. That you have to learn to shuck and jive your way around the kitchen. Like I would say.
Shall we do the beauty shot here?
Let's see it. Wow.
Hold on. Can we see? First of all, see, you just, oh my God, this is awesome.
That's insane.
You just lift that up. You got the,
Oh.
pretend I'm eating that, but instead I'm going to eat this little guy over here. In fact, I probably could have put a little more cheese in there. Hold on. It's messy. That's for sure. Oh my God.
Wow.
That's giving me real good pizza vibes. Oh my God. I missed my marinara, you guys. That sounds crazy, but I have missed it.
That is a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing.
You're not supposed to crunch and eat on camera, but you could also add all kind of other things. But I probably could have put a little. Oh, wait, let me get the cheesy part, the cream cheesy part. Yeah.
Oh, yes. This is I could watch you eat that all day.
It's so good.
That looks awesome.
That's Lauren in the background.
I'm
He's
gonna
gonna
run up.
eat this whole giant one by himself.
Oh, lucky
Hey, I
Dennis.
made you a pizza dip. He says, I want it. You're gonna get it.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
It
Well,
smells so good too. It smells like I made fresh pizza.
yeah. Wow. Okay. Because pizza is one of the things that you miss when you go low carb, right? You got to find a way
Absolutely. It's one of the first things that people
to
make
scrape
from
the toppings off and just eat those, But
Yep. No, but that's one of the first things I can tell when people are just starting this journey because they post a lot of pizza pictures from the book, the Crust recipe.
yes.
And it's fine. It's good. It's part of the journey. That's great. That means you're making the changes. So that's good.
Yes. Yes. Well, that is beautiful. And again, that recipe for folks who are joining us is pizza dip, and it's from
Eat Happy 2.
Eat Happy 2.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting the book here.
There are the book titles.
This is Eat Happy 2.
Beautiful book.
My web guy's calling me. He's obviously not tuning in, or else he wouldn't be interrupting our podcast, our live cast.
That's true. And AnnaVocino.com is where people can find information about the books, all that good stuff. Your website, eathappykitchen.com,
Yes.
for the marinara.
Oh, and I'm doing more cooking videos on YouTube. So search for me
good.
on YouTube, and I have all kind of recipes that I'm making on there, and I'm going to continue to post new content up there. So please check out the YouTube.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm going to keep an eye on that. So thank you so much for making the time and for talking to us.
Oh my God. Thank you for having me. And everybody go get Dave's book, My Unremarkable Brain.
Yes.
And especially if anybody is dealing with any brain issues, you're going to need to get it. There it is.
Yeah, I really tried to make it not just about epilepsy and about brain issues, but anybody who's living with a long-term something. Everybody's got a something, they say, right? Whether it's celiac, whether it's epilepsy, no matter what. And so the third part of it is really, I talk to folks like Anna and all kinds of people who, Vinny Tortorich, who's managing cancer using a ketogenic diet. But really not just ketogenic, but all kinds of people who are using diet in a way to forward their own health. So thank you for that plug, Anna.
You gotta listen. You gotta plug your book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Folks, if you want to come back for our next Healthy Happy Hour next Wednesday, the 10th, we are going to be talking with Debbie Testa from Testa's Pantry. Testa's Pantry is a little from my hometown up in Albany, New York. She's a very cool person. They are importing fresh olive oil, vinegar, spices from Italy and from Greece. And one thing I learned on Anna's podcast is that not all olive oil is created the same, right?
That's true. So you got to trust people like Debbie Testa.
That's right. That's right. So Debbie will be here. She'll talk all about small business and the food business and why your olive oil might be killing you. So
these are true facts.
Yes. So tune in next Wednesday and hope to see you then. Thank you. Thank you again, Anna, for being here.
Thank
really
you, Dave. I really appreciate it. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.